And we are live here to chat about tonight's episode of Suits, which was entitled Rocky 8. I think Rocky 8. They mentioned a few Rocky movies in this, but it was Rocky something. It's in the title. It is episode 11 of season 8, and we just found out today as well that we have the final renewal of Suits that has come through, which is for season 9, which will be 10 episodes. There's just a lot going on. Joining me to help keep me together, we have Shana, of course. Shana, say hi. Shana says sup. Okay, that's she's a little cooler than me. I don't know if you could tell. We're here to talk about all our pros, all our cons, what we thought of the episode. We can also chat about what we thought of that Pearson promo as well, which was very exciting. I immediately put that up on my Twitter. Well, let's start off with what we usually start off with, which is a rating of tonight's episode on a scale from 1 to 5. 1 being it was terrible, you hated everything about it, and 5 being it was a flawless, perfect episode of Suits. Shana, would you do the honors of giving us your rating to kick us off?
I'm going to be like a little bit harsher than I think I have been in the past, because we're like the back 6 of season 8. Like,
right.
We weren't ending at the end of 9. We're still like, we need to be going somewhere. It's like a 2.5. It's just like, yeah.
2.5. I would say that's a little bit lower than what you've been rating some of the episodes this season. And I know it's kind of hard to, wow, my hair, I always complain about, but today in particular, it's a mess. You've given it some highs and lows, but I think in season 8, we've normally been getting a little bit higher than that. So what was it in particular that was sort of bumping the rating lower for you tonight?
So many things. It's another one of these, like, I mean, it's not going anywhere. I feel like we've told this story before. Like, substitute Harvey after Jessica left for Lewis today. Save for the really, really over-the-top shenanigans that, like, that entrance scene of Lewis's just took way too long, way wasted time. Again, we're like the back 6 of season 8. And then, I mean, I know other people were amused by it, but like the whole stallion conversation I felt was not at all funny. The fact that was being played for jokes.
Yeah, it's sort of like this weird thing where they're trying to use homoeroticism as a joke, and oh my goodness, like it's 2019. That's not funny anymore. It's not. Gay people are funny. Gay people exist, and they do. And it's not funny to put out portrayals like that, and it's not funny to use your socially villainous characters as gay coded characters. It's not funny. It's not. No one's laughing. It's. Okay, sorry. I strongly agree.
I mean, workplace harassment has kind of been in the news a lot. And so for Lewis to effectively be Harvey's boss, and Harvey tells him, I'm very uncomfortable with this conversation, and he just keeps going, and he's rubbing Harvey's back awkwardly, and he smacks him on the ass. Yes, we know Lewis is harmless in that way, but, like, he shouldn't be doing that anyway. It's inappropriate. Like, he smacks some random extra when he was doing his strut in too. Like, it's just not.
Yeah. You mentioned also the pacing of this episode, and I think that was one of the things for me. And if you guys are watching along before or not before, during or after the fact, let me know your ratings as well, so we can see if you're on the sort of the same page as Shana and I, or if you saw everything a little bit differently. But for me, I thought the pacing of this episode was really interesting because it's not a full season premiere, it's a mid-season premiere, but nonetheless, for mid-season premieres, usually shows will kind of put out their best work, they'll often be very fast-paced, and then for mid-season premieres, it's usually just a little bit of exposition. It's a little bit of setting up for what's to come in the next, depending on the length of the show, 10 episodes, 6 episodes, whatever. In this case, it's 6 episodes, and it really is continuing some of the same storylines, especially on a character level from earlier in the season. So I was kind of hoping for a little bit less exposition, and we really got quite a lot of setup of this is what the plot is and this is what the story is. And I think I was just hoping for this mid-season premiere to be a bit more character focused. And maybe when it comes to Lewis, they were, but other than Lewis, not really. We had a bit of, the romance for Donna could kind of be seen as a character thing, but it really was part of her arc as how she's going to operate a COO. And I think and I kind of hope that this storyline for Donna is more tied to how she wants to operate a COO rather than simply her having an arbitrary romance. I want it to be tied to what kind of professional she wants to be rather than what her personal life should look like. Because at this point, we are in season 8. We have had the opportunity to see most of these characters in some sort of personal life. And, we're quite set in our ways and we know what personal life we want to see them in. And I don't really see the point of using any of the last remaining 16 episodes of this show on something that's just romance for the sake of romance. What did you think of the Thomas thing? I'm curious.
The short version, it's gross and it's out of character.
Okay.
Donna does have a flirty way about her, but it was over the top from minute 1. She came up with a pet name of Stupid for him, which when she's acting as the COO of the firm, like that wouldn't even have really been appropriate as Harvey's secretary even, but especially with the position she has. And I mean, we've known since season 1 that her main reason why whatever she had with Harvey was not pursued in the beginning was she has rules. She broke those rules during the ill-fated British invasion, and it did not go well. And there was never really a good explanation for why it was okay to do him but not Harvey. And now we've had so much more happen between them. She, the kissing Harvey thing, like from her point of view, it made sense at the time why she was doing it, and then there was no follow through. And now lumping this on top of it, she just really looks bad. Like she interrupted his relationship, was basically the cause of the end of said relationship. And oh, by the way, not only do I not want you, but this rule that kept me away from you, well, that supposedly was the reason that we stayed away from each other for 13, 12, 14, 84, whatever we're up to years. The first, well, I guess the second, I don't know, but like one of the first people,
on multiple occasions. I hesitate to say that it's making Donna look bad because she still looks very competent as an employee and as a professional. It's making her look, I suppose, inconsistent or a little bit hypocritical in her personal life, but it's not impacting her professional expertise and level of skill that she still did a fantastic job, right? She still was able to do her job and was able to do the essentially managing partner's job while he was having a break day. She's doing great professionally. It's personally, she has this rule where, okay, she doesn't date coworkers, fantastic. It's, great. But then she or coworkers, clients, anybody she works with. But then she dated a coworker, and now she's about to date a client, and it's very hypocritical. But I think / hope what they're intending to do with that is to show that really this rule was only ever about Harvey. It was never really to protect her from random fling with temporary British coworker and random fling with this client. It was always to protect her from admitting her feelings for Harvey. At least I hope that's where they go with it.
Right, but like
also, like you said, we're at season 8. We know we have exactly 15 more episodes of this show left. And it is a bit disheartening that we are missing opportunities to see development between her and Harvey, and to see, whether it be sort of slow burn angsty stuff or fun flirty stuff that they try to play off as not for, we're missing the opportunity for this. And is this really going to be that good? Have any of the other delays all along really been that good?
Yeah.
I mean, Donna's good. I don't really care about anybody she's dating. Harvey's okay-ish. I have somewhat liked some of the women that he's dated, and haven't liked some of the others, but never liked any of them for him or any of the guys Donna's dated for her. It's always just been, these are external characters. This isn't real life. It's a fictional character. That's who we're following, and the side characters are not as relevant or important. And I think we need to spend a little less time on side characters when the show has been sort of canceled after the next season. I don't know. That was my take on it. Pick up the pace a little bit. But perhaps at the time that this was written and shot, they didn't know. So.
But it's still, when you're in your 8th season, and you shouldn't think you have all the time in the world. And it's another one of these things we feel like we've been here before, and it's stagnant and it's repetitive. And at some point, like, if people don't have the chops to do something different and to move forward, then they shouldn't have gotten 8 seasons, much less 9, because we could have told the story that they've told over 8 seasons with all the repetitions that they've done. Certainly in 6, probably 3 or 4.
Yeah, I don't know. There have been times on this show where they've had fantastic pacing, where they have moved a story along in the span of just one episode. And I think Lewis's progression has been an example of that. But then they'll often sort of pretend it didn't happen or change things or do like what they did today, where we've had all this great progress for Lewis, and then we show him still using these, we've seen certain kinds of sexism from him before. Today we see not like literal homophobia from Lewis. We see homophobia in the writing for Lewis, where he's supposed to be a joke based on the fact that what he's saying could be seen as gay. And it's, my God, like, that's so, I would expect that coming from television and, perhaps like 2010 or 2011. So that was kind of unfortunate. I know I've kind of harped on that a lot, but that really stuck out to me as something that I find it interesting that made it through, initial conception on paper. A whole writer's room sat around and thought this was funny. It went into a script. It got shot. All of the directors and everybody involved in that scene thought, yeah, this is fantastic. And then it made final cut. Like, that's so strange to me. It's not even so much that it's not even the fact that it's offensive. It's the fact that it's mind-boggling that, like, really, like, y'all know what year it is? Anyways, that just ties into my general concern with whether the minds behind this writing really are, if they have the same, not like if they have the same values in terms of like family values, that sort of stuff. I don't care about that. If they have the same sort of plot values, if they value the same type of character progression. I don't know. The micro writing can be really good. There can be some very good funny lines and banter and interactions. Really great example of that, just going into the prose a bit, from tonight's episode, the interactions between Katrina. I wish. Jessica did fantastic in her promo. Katrina, Samantha, Donna, and Gretchen. All 4 of them, all of their interactions, both with each other and with others, there's this fantastic micro writing where you get very character-specific lines. You can tell who the writing is for, even if it had been delivered by nobody, like in Reader's Theater or something. And you get a good resolution to their sort of micro storyline of how they're all going to work together. But in the macro writing, when we're talking about the development across all of them, with Katrina, we see a little bit of growth, but it wasn't anything particularly new to what we've seen her cover in this past season or previous seasons, which is how shady are you going to be? Like, you know, for Donna, we see, okay, once again, like she's a fantastic professional, but her personal life can be a bit of a mess or inconsistent. It's not really anything new. So it leaves me wondering what storylines they're setting up for in these back six, the upcoming 5, that are new. And based on the pacing of today's episode, it makes me question what the pacing will be for this back 6 as well. Not just what kind of progress can I expect, but what pace of progress can I expect. I know I will enjoy at least some parts of the micro writing every episode. I want to know if, when I look back at these 6 episodes, will I enjoy what was done with the plot and the characters? That I can't say for sure based on tonight's episode. That's sort of my overall take. But I see in the chat we have Stephanie joining us. She says, I like Gretchen so much. Personal life can be a bit of a mess. And she says she does not like Donna dating a client. I don't really like Donna dating a client, a coworker, any of that. I really just, I know shows sometimes like to use that as a bit of an angsty point or whatever. I don't even see that as the point of angst between Donna and Harvey at this point. I think the angst between Donna and Harvey is how they've, you know, known each other for 20 billion years or whatever and have never admitted that they've had feelings for each other all along. That's where the angst is. The context in which they know each other is hardly relevant at this point. So having Donna instead date a different coworker, British Harvey, or a client or whatever, kind of feels relevant to this. Phoebe says, the show's storylines tend to be circular, a variation on a theme. Very true. Stephanie and Phoebe are chatting as well. I like to see that. So, Shana, let me toss it back to you. We talked about our ratings. We talked about our cons. I really would like to hear what your big pros were. So, having just watched the episode, what scene or line or moment really stuck out to you as your favorite and something that's sort of making you look forward to the next 5 episodes or the next 15 episodes if you include season 9?
Okay, so as a joke, but really, honestly, the best part was that time they showed Jessica in Chicago. But I know that wasn't that. I mean, the thing that really I wish would have had far more focus, and I think I talked about this at the beginning of the season too, like seeing Harvey and Robert work together. What we did get, I really thought was strong, especially like their banter back and forth. I said something when I was tweeting about Mike's 2 dads, because, his dad and his father-in-law are now actually together. And I like that dynamic. I think it's something that would suits having originally been about a dynamic between 2 guys buddying it up and, dropping pop culture references with each other. That's really been missing. And it's Robert, Wendell Pierce did a really good job of sliding in there and having it feel like Mike and Harvey, but still definitely be distinctly different and not a replacement. I like that the ladies are going out, even though realistically we'll probably never see it, which is a back to a con. But it was nice that they, Sam and Katrina appear to have worked out their nonsense that you shouldn't have even put the 2 against each other to begin with, because there are not enough women on this show as it is. So when they're at odds, it's horrible. But, they made up. They have mutual respect for each other now that they didn't maybe before. And everybody has respect for Donna, at least in her job, that others, the personal, just know. And then the fact that they even tied in Gretchen, that's, again, something that would have been really easy to have written and actually shown quite some time ago. It was just more of that.
So what I'm hearing from you is that the positives were all the women, and I strongly agree.
No, I mean, honestly, Robert and Harvey was like really.
Robert and Harvey were very good as well. Robert in general, I think Zane is such a smart addition to this show. They very much lucked out both with the character concept and the delivery. The acting is fantastic.
Yeah.
And he's not necessarily filling the role of Mike or the role of Jessica. He's something else new entirely that at different points can kind of be in between. So he can do the silly movie banter, whatever stuff that Mike used to do. But in terms of the back and forth between him and Harvey, it can sometimes be similar to the back and forth that Harvey and Jessica would have. The difference is Harvey and Zane, while Zane is over Harvey and could beat his ass in court or wherever, he is believably somewhere on the same scale as Harvey. I just see him as more experienced and sort of above him. Jessica feels like she's on an entirely different scale than Harvey, and she just chooses to play in his ring sometimes. So that, I suppose, is the difference. But Zane is a fantastic addition, a reminder of the entire Zane family that the show once had, which is really fun. But Katrina did a fantastic job tonight. I felt her storyline was repetitious. Phoebe in the chat referenced it as being circular, which I think is true. But she still did a great job with it. And as much as I did enjoy the Brian and Katrina storyline that we had in the first half of the season, I appreciated that, at least for this back half, it kicked off with something different for her. I thought that was really fun. We are 1 minute over our goal, but I want to toss it back to you and hear what your thoughts are for the remainder of the season. What do you want to see in the next 5 episodes in, I'll say, 60 seconds?
I mean, I'm not going to see it, though. We already know that. My top choice isn't happening. I would, instead of just Aftermath, I would love if 12 kicks off with the girls' night. It won't, but I would love it if it did. And, more Harvey and Robert, I guess, since in terms of pairings, that's all we're going to get.
Yeah, that is really true. There's not really a new pairing other than Donna and Thomas, which again, like I said, like the micro writing is cool. So the macro writing of Donna and Thomas getting together is frankly boring. That's the problem. It's boring. But the micro writing, Thomas had a couple funny lines. Like, that was okay. Mildly, like his little self-depreciatory joke thing, which they're obviously going to tie with Donna's thing of calling him stupid. And it's going to be like, oh, Donna found, someone who's okay with the fact that they're beneath her. It's going to be very cliche like that. But the micro writing for it is probably going to be fine. So you win some, you lose some. Let me know in the comments down below if you are watching this live or if you're watching this after the fact, what you are looking forward to in the next 5 episodes of season 8. Or if you really like looking ahead, you can let me know what you're looking forward to in the remaining 15 episodes of Suits. Oh, my heart. The fact that it's ending and ending so soon. I know it's gone on forever, and I know it's time, but it's still going to be so different. What am I going to do with all this suit stuff I have around?
I know. I got my glasses. I don't go anywhere without them. I should probably get a new pair before they don't exist.
Yeah, I've got 2. Got all kinds of suit merch and suit stuff around this place. So anyways, it will live on in all of the merch inside of my house, as well as Cardboard Jessica. So Paulina in the chat says hi. Hi, Paulina. Well, thank you everyone for joining. And I will see you again, same time, same place. Shana, you as well?
Of course.
That is an affirmative. Next week for episode 12. I have high hopes for it, sort of. I have medium hopes for it. Bye, guys.